From NBC News in Washington, this is Meet the Press with Tim Russert.
Our issues this Sunday. Tim Russert started every edition of Meet the Press with those 4 words. And those were the words that he was preparing to record when he collapsed and died on Friday at these NBC studios in Washington. Now his moderator's chair is empty. His voice has been stilled. And our issue this sad Sunday morning is remembering and honoring our colleague and our friend with some of the men and women who worked with him and appeared here on Meet the Press, who knew him best and loved him most. I'm Tom Brokaw. There are so many stories that we could tell about Tim, so many moments that shaped and defined him and our nation. But in this hour that Tim occupied so proudly and did so well, we will focus on the remarkable things that he did right here on Meet the Press, a program that he called a national treasure, of which he said he was only the temporary custodian. For 17 years, of course, he was so much more than all that. Tim has a very large wooden sign in his office, and it's going to be our mantra for this morning. It says, "Thou shalt not whine." And if I could add, I think anything to that, thou shalt not weep or cry this morning. This is a celebration, a time to remember. And if there was a signature for Meet the Press under the guidance of Tim Russert, the questions were tough but always fair. Let's take a look at some of those questions, tough and fair, over the years here on Meet the Press, and then talk about them.
If I told you it was 25% of your state lived below the poverty line, would you believe me?
I could believe you, yes.
Are these the kinds of things the governor should know? Who the largest employers are? How many people live below the poverty line?
You have said that part of your $40 billion deficit
I have also told your program
is $180 billion.
Yes, may I finish?
May I finish? It was a simple question.
Well, you've already finished. Go and finish again. It's your program. You can do anything you want to with it.
Will you allow North Korea to build a nuclear bomb?
North Korea cannot be allowed to develop a nuclear bomb. We have to be very firm about it.
Filegate, Travelgate, Whitewater. What's wrong with those as legitimate issues?
Look at all this Whitewater stuff. What's come out of it? Absolutely nothing.
Would you be willing to retract or apologize for some of the things you said?
If I can defend every word that I speak, and every word that I speak is truth, then I have nothing to apologize for.
In light of not finding the weapons of mass destruction, do you believe the war in Iraq is a war of choice or a war of necessity?
I think that's an interesting question. Please elaborate on that a little bit. A war of choice or a war of necessity? I mean, it's a war of necessity.
Mr. Secretary, you say pre-stage, people were sent to the convention center. There was no water, no food, no beds, no authorities there. There was no planning.
We'll have time to go back and do an after-action report, but the time right now is to look at what the enormous tasks ahead are.
Many Americans believe now is the time for accountability.
Look, I was asked, I shouldn't have said that, so I've been in public life 25 years. You're going to find a lot of these. It seems you found them all here.
Well, I'm just trying to set the record and trying to give you a chance to respond, which is fair. Senator John McCain, thanks for joining us and sharing your views.
I haven't had so much fun since my last interrogation.